Mark. The brave prince saves Randi, the lonely princess. Stage direction. The curtains rise on a spacious room in Windsor Castle. The pathetic fallacy of a drizzling rain beats against the windows. King Henry, dressed in regal blue, paces the floor with a dismal expression. Narrator. Right then, listen up, me old China. In Windsor's posh gaff, where the royals reside, lived a family whose joy had all but died. King Henry, in blue, was proper gutted, see? His daughter was lonesome, as sad as can be. He paced like a lion inside of a cage. His face was a picture of sorrow and age. King Henry. This drizzle is dreary, this dampness is dross. My kingdom is empty, a total dead loss. My heart is a heavy, lead weight in my chest, and until Randi smiles, I shall find no rest. Stage direction. Queen Joan, wearing royal purple with traditional Nigerian accents, enters and approaches the king. Narrator. Queen Joan was in purple, looking second to none, but she worried about Randi, her only one. The princess felt alien, a fish out of water, Windsor's most beautiful, reticent daughter. The queen tried to help, with a word and a prayer, to lift all the gloom from the castle's thick air. Queen Joan, E Peleo, Henry, our daughter is inconsolable. She is the apple of my eye, yet she shuns the world. Her spirit is flagging, her laughter is thin. We must find a way to let happiness in. We cannot simply wallow in this dismal state. We must change our daughter's unfortunate fate. Sound effect. A sudden crash of thunder. Onomatopoeia. Boom! Enter Maleficent Rowena, a notorious villain with a face like a sour lemon. Narrator. Then Rowena arrived, a notorious sight, an eyesore in black who loved a good fight. She was livid and irate, a real piece of work. With a sinister smile and a petulant smirk, she barged through the doors with a thunderous sound, and her malevolent presence made everyone bound. Rowena, this castle is substandard. Your joy I shall veto. Princess Randi is barred, like a bug in a netto. Your curtains are tacky, your carpets are old, and your daughter's a treasure that I plan to hold. I'll hide her away where the shadows are long, and silence her voice and her beautiful song. Stage direction. Rowena grabs Princess Randi, who is holding a pink fan and wearing purple glasses. Narrator. She dragged Randi off. It was truly appalling, while the king and the queen were fruitlessly calling. Randi was frightened, a bird in a snare, as Rowena's cold fingers clutched onto her hair. The villain was wicked, a shadow in flight, stealing the princess away in the night. Randi, crying through her pink and purple glasses. Alas, this is abysmal, a horrendous fate. I'm caught in a dilemma, it's far too late. My fan cannot cool me, my glasses are blurred. Was there ever a kidnapping so quite absurd? Please release me, Rowena, you cruel, wicked dame. This villainy surely will blacken your name. Stage direction. A field near the castle. Prince Mark enters, donning green attire and spectacles. He sits atop Dobbin, his sturdy horse. Narrator. But hold your horses. Who's this on the track? Prince Mark on his horse, with a cape on his back. He was Cantonese British, a distinguished young lad whose absence of courage was virtually bad. Which is to say, he was brave to the core, looking for Randi, the girl he'd adore. Mark, patting his horse. Steady now, Dobbin. The journey is long, but our hearts and our spirits are sturdy and strong. We've miles to travel and dragons to duck, so let's hope we have a bit of good luck. Stage direction. Prince Mark looks at the horizon, adjusting his glasses. Narrator. Mark was ecstatic, albeit a bit wary, 'cause the journey ahead was bound to be scary. He knew that the task was a mountain to climb, but he planned to be back by the dinner bell chime. He spoke to his horse in a language so sweet, as they trotted along on their four-legged feet. Mark, Josanne, Dobbin, we must not hesitate. To save Princess Randi, we can't be late. Her situation is dire, she's on the brink of despair. We'll find that dark tower and climb every stair. Mungwa, my friend, let us gallop with pride, for we have the courage of lions inside. Stage direction. The path is blocked by a thicket of thorns. Narrator. He faced a thicket of thorns, sharp as a knife, the most precarious challenge of his young life. It was a labyrinthine mess of a hedge, enough to push any young prince to the edge. The thorns were like needles, a wall of pure spite, blocking the path and obscuring the light. Mark. Stand back, noble Dobbin. These briars are thick. We must find a passage and find it quite quick. These thorns are like teeth, biting into the air. But I have a mission, and I shall not despair. Narrator. They push through the tangle, despite all the pain, for a prince never stops for the wind or the rain. Sound effect. A rustling sibilance in the bushes. Constance, a female crocodile, crawls onto the path. Narrator. Then Constance the croc, with a cacophony of snaps, emerged from the mud to set one of her traps. She was gargantuan, green, and she smelled like the swamp, ready to give the young prince a good chomp. Her scales were like armor, her eyes were like glass, and she didn't intend to let anyone pass. Constance, you're out of bounds, prince. Your quest is redundant. I'll eat you for lunch. I have teeth in abundance. You look like a snack that is tasty and sweet, the perfect young royal for a crocodile treat. Stage direction. Prince Mark prepares to jump. Narrator. He leapt o'er the croc, who was truly outclassed. Mark was far from a coward. He moved proper fast. It was a feat of agility, a wonder to see, as he bounded away with a shout of great glee. Constance was baffled, her jaws snapped on air, as the prince and his horse left her wallowing there. Mark. Mid-air. Mgwa Constance, but you must move aside. I won't be intimidated or run off and hide. You're an inconsistent foe, prone to much greed, but I shall proceed with the greatest of speed. Narrator. He left her behind in the mud and the muck, a victim of Mark and his incredible luck. Stage direction. A forest clearing. Bessie, a large female bear, is sleeping soundly. Narrator. To make matters worse, as the sun started to fade, Mark saw a soft mound in a dark, mossy glade. He thought it a pillow, an object to rest, but it was Bessie the bear, putting him to the test. She was fluffy and soft, like a big woolly cloud, and her snoring was rhythmic and ever so loud. Mark, whispering, I shall rest for a moment, sans any fear. This pillow is spacious and cozy right here. It's as soft as a marshmallow, warm as a bun. I'll nap for a minute, and then I'll be done. Narrator. He was tired and weary, his energy spent, so down on the pillow the young prince went. Stage direction. Bessie the bear wakes up. Narrator. He accidentally sat on her furry backside, and Bessie awoke with her mouth open wide. The pillow began to let out a great roar as the prince tumbled down to the damp forest floor. It was a rude awakening, a shock to the system, as the prince's best plans. Well, the bear went and missed 'em. Bessie, yawning. Who dares to disturb my monotonous sleep? Your presence is infantile, a promise I'll keep. I should obliterate you for this rude intervention, and eat you as well, if that's your intention. Mark, my apologies, Bessie. It wasn't my intention. I'm on a mission of love, not to vandalize your nap. I mistook you for bedding, a silly mistake. Please don't turn a prince into a bear-sized steak. Stage direction. The foot of a high stone tower. Princess Randi looks out from a small window. Narrator. At last, the castle. The light at the end of the tunnel. The wind whistled loud, like a gray, misty funnel. Mark looked at the tower, so high and so steep, where Randi was kept like a prize she couldn't keep. The stones were all mossy, the mortar was old, and the air in the shadow was biting and cold. Randi, sighing, I sit in this tower and fan my poor face. a captive of gloom in this terrible place. My purple-rimmed glasses see nothing but gray. Oh, how I wish to be rescued today. Narrator. She looked at the horizon with hope in her soul, for finding her freedom was her only goal. Stage direction. Prince Mark stands at the base of the tower. Narrator. Their eyes met and sparked, like chalk and cheese meeting, a truly distinguished and magical greeting. Mark shouted up to the window so high, his voice like a trumpet against the dark sky. Randi looked down, and her heart skipped a beat as she saw the brave prince standing there on his feet. Mark, Princess Randi, your hair is like silk in the sun. I've come to save you. The battle is won. I've braved the sharp thorns and the crocodile's bite to bring you back home to the Windsor town light. Randi, looking down, exhilarated. A prince in green glasses? That's a first, I must say. You're reminiscent of heroes from a far-off day. My heart is elate. I'm no longer crestfallen, even if the stairs are quite dusty and pollen. Sound effect, a poof of smoke. Maleficent Rowena appears between Mark and the tower. Narrator. But wait, the villain was back in a flash, ready to turn the whole quest into ash. Rowena appeared with a cackle and sneer to fill the young couple with ultimate fear. She waved her dark wand with a flick of her wrist, emerging from out of the shadows and mist. Rowena, I object to this rescue. I prohibit this love. I'll crush you like grit with my iron-fisted glove. You've thrashed all my obstacles, but I am superior. Your chances of winning are vastly inferior. I'll turn you to stone, or I'll turn you to soot. You won't leave this tower on horse or on foot. Stage direction. Prince Mark holds up a mirror. Narrator. Mark pulled out a mirror, an ultimate trick. Rowena's own reflection made her feel quite sick. It was a taste of her medicine, bitter and sour. She accidentally tripped and lost all her power. With a flash and a bang, the magic went wrong, and Rowena's dark spell wasn't nearly so strong. Mark, your reign is revoked. Your magic is rotten. Your name, Rowena, will soon be forgotten. Look at your face in this shiny glass pane, and see all the shadows and all of the stain. Narrator. She shrank and she shriveled. She changed in a habit, until she was nothing but a fluffy white rabbit. Stage direction. The Great Hall of Windsor Castle. A long table is heaped with food. Narrator. The curse was obliterated. The princess was free. They had a big party, as grand as can be. There were sandwiches, cakes, and strawberry jelly, enough to fill even a giant's big belly. King Henry was leaping and dancing with pride, while Queen Joan had a smile that was 10 meters wide. King Henry, holding a glass of orange juice. This is exemplary. My daughter is home. No more shall she wander or lonely like roam. Let's eat all the cakes and let's drink all the juice, now that the princess is finally loose. Queen Joan, clapping her hands. Truly, this is a day for the books. Just look at the joy on our family's looks. Stage direction. The castle chapel. Prince Mark and Princess Randi are at the altar. Narrator. Years passed in a blink, as time tends to do, and the love between Mark and his princess just grew. They decided to marry, an official event, with the king and the queen giving full-on consent. The bells of the castle rang out through the town, as the prince and the princess both put on a crown. Mark, holding Randi's hand, I loved you all along. From the brink of that tower, you're my precious blossom, my favorite flower. Randi, and you are my hero, so brave and so kind. A better companion I never could find. We'll live in this castle and never be sad, the happiest royals that Windsor has had. Stage direction. A nursery. Princess Randi sits in a rocking chair, holding a baby. Narrator. But wait, there's a sequel. A little surprise. A baby boy with his mother's bright eyes. They named him Tommy, a competent lad, the best little boy that a king ever had. The story has ended, the shadows have gone, and a new little light has begun at the dawn. Randi, singing softly. Omo am I, Tommy, sleep soundly and sweet. Our family circle is finally complete. You have your dad's courage, and maybe my fan. You'll grow up to be such a wonderful man. Narrator. So that's it, the end. It's the thought that counts, eh? Love is the winner at the end of the day.